I need somebody help, not just anybody help. You know I need someone.
Hello, this is Andy Bennett with Master Tech Solutions. Welcome to our third episode of Tech Request Live. TRL is a weekly tech request show created to help you, our colleagues and teachers, to maximize the use of your educational technology. My name is Andy Bennett and I work with Master Tech Solutions. We are your one-stop shop for consultation, educational technology, training, and professional development. Master Tech has proudly provided eInstruction products and services to the Rocky Mountain region for the past 6 years. We are also proud providers for All-In Learning, a revolutionary cloud-based assessment and instruction program. We also carry the unbelievable Livescribe Smart Pin, the pin that remembers everything you hear and links it to what you write. In addition, we now carry amazing AV products, including Hitachi projectors and Lumen's Ladybug cameras. But more importantly, we are your partners in education. This is our weekly episode. To see our TRL introduction video, go to www.youtube.com/mastertechsolutions and locate the TRL demo video. This week's tech requests come to us from Todd Henderson in Redlands Middle School in Grand Junction, Joy Larson, Columbine Christian in Durango, Colorado, and then Scott Finholm in Grand Mesa Middle School, also in Grand Junction. So we'll start with the two CPS ones, and then we'll move to Workspace. First one was, and I get this question a lot, is how do we import assessments? We've got tests that we've used in Word documents beforehand, and we don't want to have to recreate those all now that we're using clickers. So we're going to hop out of this real quick and launch into CPS and show you how to do this. There is a certain format that you need to follow. So what I've done is I've got our document here that we're going to check back with, but we're going to make one from scratch. And here is the template that you need to follow. So if you follow this template and we save it as an RTF document, it will import just fine. So we're going to do title, :space. We'll just call this word import try. Okay. Then 2 enters. This is where we put the type of question. So we'll start with multiple choice and then enter. We're going to do number 1. I'm going to take this off really quick just to keep it from possibly messing up. So we're just going to have no formatting going on here, just the number. So number 1, this is our first question. So let's see. We'll just keep a generic question. Number 1. Okay. Our first choice will be A. We'll just say that's choice 1. Choice 2. Choice 3, and so on and so forth, and you can get all the way up to through H. Okay, so that's our first question. To indicate the correct answer, you're just going to type in ANS : space. So if the correct answer was B, we would just indicate B right there. And that way when it imports, it already has the correct answer indicated. All right, we're going to do second question. So 2 enters in between there. Again, keeping it pretty generic here. Question 2, first answer, second answer, third answer, and so on. Okay, answer ANS : space, and this time the answer is D. So we can continue doing multiple choice questions like that. So obviously you're probably not going to be writing them in this format, but if you have assessments that you've already created, you can switch the formatting to match this and then import it. So I'm just showing you from a blank document, but you could do the same thing if you had something typed in here. Just switch the formatting to match this, and you should be able to import it just fine. To switch the types of questions, we're just going to indicate that now we're tracking true, false. So true, / false, enter, and then we're on the third question. This is pretty cool. True or false? And the answer, of course, is true. Okay, you get the idea. To switch to numeric, and then enter. This is the fourth question. How many hours per week would this save you? And the answer is, we'll say 5 for now. Okay, so now that's in and it matches what the template needs to look like over here. Notice that they also put STO and notes, so these are standards and notes that you could attach to those. Those are fine. Those are just options. So from here, that's ready to be saved. We can't save this as a Word document. It needs to be saved as an RTF. So to do that, we can click the Save As button here, or just go to File, Save As, and I'm in Windows 7, but any Windows XP and forward, you can save as an RTF. So just instead of a Word document, we're going to go down here and find Rich Text Format. Click on that. We're just going to save this right on our desktop to keep it easy to find. Word, import, try. Click Save, and then it's ready to go. It is important to know that you do need to get out of this before you try to import it, because there's already a program accessing that file. So we're going to exit out of this. This is my template that I've already imported. So we'll jump over to CPS here. Wanted to show you what that looked like. So there's my question 1, question 2. When I open those up, and actually I have switched the font size to make it a little bit bigger. You can always change this once you get into CPS and just zoom in, but you can make this larger coming in. So there's my choice, and I said the correct answer was A. You get the idea. So that's how our next one's going to look. So to import, we're going to click on the folder or the place that we'd like to import it to. We're in the Prepare tab. So I want it to come into my Import tab here, or my Import folder rather. I'm going to click on Import. And then we're going to go browse out and find that file. So we're going to go back to my desktop and search down here. Oh, so notice right now it's looking for CPS databases. It's not a CPS database, it's an RTF file. So we're going to switch that to RTF, and then it should show those other two. So this is the one that I've already created, but this is the one that we just created. So Word Import Try. I'm going to click Open. You can see the preview there. And there we go. Word Import Try right there. Multiple choice 4, true, false, and a numeric. So you've already seen the multiple choice. This is what true, false would look like. Notice that the correct answer is indicated, as is the numeric. Okay, so that's importing from Word. Hope that helps you out, Todd, and everyone else out there. Yesterday I met with Joy Larson at Columbine Middle School, or I'm sorry, Columbine Christian in Durango, and she was just starting to use the CPS. And usually when I talk to teachers, the verbal mode, which I can cover in another week, and FastGrade are the two that I start with. So let's show really quickly how to do a FastGrade lesson. So where this would be useful is if you had a worksheet such as this one I pulled from Study Island when I had a subscription from that. So obviously this could be anything from your curriculum or something you found online. You've got your questions here. It doesn't have to be multiple choice, but for this instance it is. We've got all of our questions here. This is something that we would print out and give to our students or put under a document camera and have them look off of. So there's our questions. That's what we're going to hand to the students. Generally, teachers will have an answer key, something to this effect. Okay, so with this information alone, I can input the answers only into CPS quickly, very quickly, and then turn around and engage that with the clickers, so the kids are answering with the clickers. Saves you on grading time, and it only takes a couple minutes to do this. So let's see how that works. So here's our answer key. We're going to come back to that. We're going to go back to CPS. We're in the Prepare tab still. We're going to put this in our CPS folder, and we're going to create a new, remember that's where we create everything, right? A new lesson, new folder, everything is right there. But this time we're going to do a FastGrade lesson. So click New FastGrade Lesson. We're going to title it, this is our Study Island worksheet. Click OK. This is kind of a busy screen, but what you're needing to look at is what question type am I asking? And we said we were on multiple choice 4, so we're going to go back here. Where'd my Word document go? There we go. And my first one in a multiple choice 4 is D. So let's just do the first 3 here. So D, B, D. Let's look at those. We're going to jump back to FastGrade. So in a multiple choice 4, I'm on my first question. It indicates it right there. We're going to say the first answer is D. It automatically takes me to my second question. The second answer was B, and the third answer is D. To go back and check these at any point, so I'm on every time you click on an answer, it'll automatically take you to the next question. But if I need to go back and double check, I can go previous. So we'll start from the beginning. Question 1 was D, that's correct. Question 2 was B, that's correct. Question 3 is D, that is also correct. So let's continue on and finish these. We're on question 4. Let's go back to our answer key and find the rest of our answers. So starting with question 4, we have C, C, B, D. Let's get those. Question 4, C, C, B, D, and then we just need our last 3, 8, 9, and 10. A, B, A. A, B, A. Okay, it says current question is 11, so if I needed an 11th question, I could do that, but there are all 10 of my questions entered and ready to go. I have standards down here. On another episode, I'd be happy to show you how to import standards and link those. If I wanted to say that question 6 was attached to this standard, it's just that simple. So then when we do our reports, we can get a standardized report per questions and per standard. So for right now, we're just going to click OK. And there is our FastGrade lesson. Question 1 through 10, that's the one that I had attached the standard to. And to engage this, I would just go over to Engage, find it right here, Study Island Worksheet. I've already actually done one of those. Keeping in mind, if I click right here, notice that there's a chalkboard. This is a teacher-managed assessment. This is not something that you're going to want to do teacher-managed because there's really nothing to show. So what you're going to do is you're going to switch this to assessment setup. So, switch the assessment setup rather to student paste, and this allows the students to be looking at their paper with their clicker. Works best with the Spark and the Pulse just because the information is downloaded onto their clicker. You can shut off your projector and then watch as the answers come in as to which questions students are doing well on, so you get an idea of where you need to start next. But it works just fine with IR. It's just a different look. So student paste, we're going to click Engage. Probably don't want that up, just saying there. And once this finds our receiver, it will pop up here. And notice the note here. So I'm using Spark and Pulse clickers here, so it's going to say please turn off your projector and make sure all of your pads or your clickers are turned on. So I need to turn my clickers on really quick. I'm using one Spark and one Pulse, just in case you didn't know that. You can use those together. So once these are powered on and ready to go, I'm going to click Start. And if I was projecting this, I would then turn this off because you're now going to be able to see, once it receives the information here on the clicker, and I've got clicker 2, which is Michael Jordan. On the clicker, it says question 01 : so I'm ready to answer my first question. So looking at my paper, I click A and then send that. So this is what a teacher is looking at. They're seeing as they're coming in how the students are doing per question and how each student is doing, how many they've answered and how many are correct. So Michael got that wrong. He's going to answer the second one, see if he remembers that one. Nope, not doing very good. Poor Michael Jordan. Good thing he was a basketball player, right? So I can continue going on through here. There we go. He finally got one right. Color feedback here. This is kind of a nice visual way to look at this. So just at a glance, I can see if this one looks like someone died on question 1. Obviously, my whole class needs help on that. So a lot of red means that a lot of them missed it, and it'll have the percentage correct down here. Obviously, I'm just doing 1, but you could see how this would work. So that one was correct. Once everyone is in, we can click End. It says, are you sure you want to do that? We'll say yes. It will then write all of that, all of the data into a report, which we can go and check here in a little bit. Okay, and I know that I've told you guys this when I'm out at trainings, but I haven't seen all of you that are watching this. So anything that you click in, whether it's verbal or in a team activity or the student managed mode, everything will then go into a report. So here's our Study Island worksheet. We can click Generate here. There's lots of different reports, but we're just going to look at the instructor summary and see that sure enough, Michael didn't get through all of them. He just tried 4 and he only got 1 of them correct. Okay, so this percentage correct is out of the total, which was 10 questions. And there we go. So that is FastGrade. That's actually quite a bit of information in FastGrade. We could probably get into more on the numeric and short answer, that kind of stuff, but we'll cover that in another week. So hopefully that helps, Joy, for you to check back on, and those of you that are needing some help on getting things graded a little bit quicker. The last one we're going to look at today is multi-user. We all love Workspace, those of you that have started using your Mobi. So we're going to go into Workspace here. I've got my Mobi view connected. So I'm switching over. I'm actually using my Mobi view here. To get into a multi-user, obviously you're going to have more than one Mobi. So you can do this in a number of different ways. If you have a dual board, they're set up to have 2 concurrent users. So you could have a Mobi view, which is generally the teacher, and then the dual board, which could be 1 student on the left, 1 student on the right. For our demonstration today, because I don't have a dual board at my house, we're going to use 2 Mobi learners. So from a blank page in Workspace, on the lower right-hand corner, there's this little button that looks like 2 students, which is our multi-user button. So we're going to click on that, and it brings up some options. This quick start will just automatically dump how many ever devices you have into where they think the devices should go. That's fine, but I generally just go to multi-user page setup so I have a little bit more say as to where devices are going. So we'll click on multi-user page setup. You can see that my demo mode Mobi view is connected here, and then I've got learner 1 and just learner. I can drag any or all of these devices into a blank page. What this is called sandbox mode. So if I clicked OK at this point, all 3 of those devices are now accessing this blank page here. Okay, so I can write. This is the demo mode because you can see that I'm green. On the learner, this one's the red one, and this one is the black one. Okay, notice that if learner 1 wanted to be really cantankerous, I could write all over the Mobi view here. Okay, so you just kind of have to know coming in that sandbox mode, everyone can play in the same sandbox, but they can write on the same, write over somebody else. We actually saw that in class when we were writing names because kiddos were just getting used to that. Everyone wanted to write in the middle of the board, so someone would write their name here, and then the next person would write their name here, and the next person would write their name here. And before you know it, you really couldn't read it. So just keeping in mind that if you're in sandbox mode, understand that everyone has the same workspace and they can play nice or they can play kind of cantankerous. It depends on how you set up the activity. The buttons and the functions, the tools for multi-user are different. I have had a lot of people ask, well, what about this? I love that. Why can't I use that? My handwriting recognition in this. And the reason being is that you can connect up to 9 different Mobis all at the same time, and that is a lot of computing power to think of 9 different users all at the same time trying to decipher if this says hello or if it said something completely different. So it's a lot to ask of a computer. So this is actually not available in multi-user mode. The options we have are pin. So we're already on the pin tool. This is just to change through colors. Can go through and find, must be at the end of it. That must be all we got, okay? And then the 1 here is thickness, so you can see different thicknesses of lines all the way from 1 to 4. And really the only other options in the multi-user mode is this select tool, so I can grab something if I wrote it. I can grab it and then move it around. Okay. This works well with a multi-user activity, which I'm going to set up here in a second, side by side, so you can see that. So we'll show you more on that in a second here. And then the erase button. So we can go back and erase. Notice, because I'm the demo mode, and actually I should be back to green. Oh, it's not going to let me change my color now. But if this was not my line right here, I can't erase the other students' lines because that's not something that I created. So just keeping in mind, you can only erase or clear. That's what this red button is. We'll clear the learners button here. Okay, hit that red X and they can clear it. So, all right, so that's really pretty much all of the tools in multi-user mode. So you got select, erase, clear everything that is mine, and then pin tool. The other buttons down here, this is an export. So if this was just the coolest image ever, I could actually export that as an image. I think that's a teacher tool. And then this one is another teacher tool. So if you see something like this and you're a little worried as to what the end of that's going to be, a teacher can go over here and say, okay, little Billy, we're not going to let you finish that sentence or that word. Such as kind of a teacher tool. So that is sandbox mode. So I'm going to exit out. This is another thing that's kind of important to know. As the teacher, because I dropped my Mobi view in there, I'm not going to be able to access this. So using my Mobi view, I can't change tools because I'm just in the same sandbox as everybody else. I can't go down here and access that, so I'm having to switch over to my mouse, and I'm actually going to switch and take off the multi-user device. So at this point, all of the Mobis could then control the computer, but we're going to give us another fresh page and show another way that you could use a multi-user page. So we're going to go back here. Again, multi-user page setup. We have our 3 devices connected. This time we're going to show a split screen. So when we do this, and you can see the different configurations here, we've got a split 2, split 4, 6, and then 9. Keeping in mind the more splits you get, the smaller the area that the students are going to be working in. So if you're wanting to do even 4, you're going to need a pretty large screen. And the great thing about the Mobi is you're not limited as to a certain board that you're projecting onto. If you wanted to back your projector up to the back of the room, hang a sheet, you could have, you know, a 200 by 200 square surface of interactive surface that you're working on. So just something to know about the more users you have, the smaller the area is going to be. Right now we're just going to leave it as 2. We're going to put learner 1 on the left-hand side and learner on the second side. Notice I'm going to leave demo mode, the Mobi view up here, because that will give me access to everything. I can still then access these tools here. I can still turn off multi-user mode and that. So we're going to say OK. And there we go. So now learner is over here on the right-hand side, and learner 1 is on the left-hand side. Okay, we're going to clear those off because I'm going to show you a cool thing that you can do with this mode. So as the teacher, I'm back on my Mobi view. I'm going to access my gallery, which we could spend weeks and weeks going through all of the amazing tools in the gallery. I'm just going to show you a couple of my favorites here, actually just one that I've seen work really, really well in areas like this. So we're going to grab a skeleton and we're going to put it on 1 on each side. So this side gets a skeleton to match bones to, as does this side. See that I'm dragging and dropping. It's not a double click to access content in the gallery. So we close out of this. Oops. So I'm going to switch to my select tool. And I'm going to make this as big as I can because that's kind of small. Make that a little bit bigger. And we'll get rid of that. Okay, and then go over here and do the same thing. This is something we did at Columbine Christian the other day, which was a lot of fun. We did this with 3rd grade students. All right, so notice that the students, learner Mobis have switched to their select tool. So now, as a student, we can have a board race as to who can get the bones matched the fastest here. So what they do is they float over the surface, they grab the bone. There we go. Okay. Grab this bone and we're going to drag it over here to clavicle. And that is the correct spot. If I grabbed ulna and dragged it here, obviously that is drug. That's nice. Drug it here. That is not the place it's supposed to be. It's just going to pop back until you find the right spot here. I think your ulna is right here. There we go. Okay, so that's one. And then the other, I need more arms here. The other side is doing the same thing, dragging and dropping. And the idea is that they're doing this at the same time. I don't have enough hands to show you that, but you could certainly do that just back and forth, and everybody's working at the same time there. Okay. Any of our interactive sims you can do this with. You could drag it into two sides and have them race to the finish. If one group of students was working on science, you could have this up. Maybe another one was working on social studies. You could put a map up there, or language arts, and you could have the synonym game or word construction. There's just so many different ways you can use this. Multi-user is by far the most dynamic of the workspace features there. So that is multi-user mode. Again, to get out of that, we go down to our multi-user button, bottom right, and click it off. Okay. All right. Well, I hope that's a lot of help to you guys. I've really enjoyed doing these shows and getting them up on YouTube. So maybe if this is your first week to watch Tech Request Live, you can go back and watch episodes 1 and 2. Those are on our YouTube channel, which we're going to show here in just a little bit. So Todd, Joy, Scott, I hope that helped you out there. I didn't say that this was for Scott Finholm at Grand Mesa Middle School in Grand Junction. So hope that helped out, Scott. Please tell a friend. This is a very much a fledgling thing. Next show will be next Friday, October 21st. I have the little asterisks here because I've got training stacked before and after that. So if I'm not there right at 11:30, stick close and I'll get up on there and get you guys taken care of. So if I'm a little late, that's why, but we will definitely get it recorded and put out on YouTube. Like I said, this is very much a new thing. I think I'm hoping anyways that it's a value to you. So please tell a friend and share this with everybody that you know. We don't have ESP yet, so to stay connected, we do need you to give us a call. There's our 800 number, 800-592-3163. Any of our team has that mastertechsolutionsinc.com. If you know that your the consultant that you work with is Dan or Dee or Nikki or Laura, we've got a big team now. You can just put their first name in front of that. But for general information, general questions, you can just email us at info@mastertechsolutionsinc.com. And the last thing before I leave you is we are now social, and I'm very proud to say this. I'm excited about this. We have our own Facebook page, facebook.com/mastertechsolutions. Same with YouTube. That's where all of the archived Tech Request Live videos are going, is onto our YouTube, which we will then link back to our Facebook and our Twitter. And that was just this week that we got our Twitter account up, is MasterTechSol. So I really hope that helps you guys out, and please don't hesitate to call or email us or find us on our sites there, and we would be happy to help you out. Hope you're having a great weekend. Give us a call if we can do anything to help you out. Talk to you later.